basically is what you're going to need is, most of us know that we need to have some sort of charred material, whether it be charred punk wood, charred tinders, char cloth, or anything along those lines. A good steel in order to strike and throw sparks off of. Most people will use char cloth. If you don't know how to make char cloth, it's very simple. You're going to need some sort of 100% cotton material, whether it be denim jeans. A lot of people really love cotton jeans. One of my personal favorites is a wash rag, 100% cotton wash rag. The reason why I like them is because they're thicker, they hold an ember a little bit longer, and they take that spark pretty easy. Now when you're using char cloth and your Flint and Steel, basically you're going to break you off a piece. Now when it comes to char cloth, my personal opinion on char cloth is I don't like it. I do not like char cloth. The reason I don't like using char cloth is because if you're in a long-term situation, eventually you're going to run out of it. Now what are you going to have to char in order to get char cloth? Your clothing. So in my personal opinion, I'm always going to char punk wood or another type of tinder. But learning with char cloth is kind of a lot easier than using charred punk wood or a tinder. So if you want to use char cloth, that's your personal opinion, and if you want to use it, that's great. So if you're wanting to use char cloth, if you are right-handed, you're going to hold your piece of flint, chert, or quartz in your left hand. You're going to place your char cloth right on top of it and kind of hold it in place with your thumb. And then with your striker in your right hand, depending on the shape of it, if I was to hold this striker like this, when I go to strike, I might catch that corner and it's not going to be very effective. So I'm going to flip mine around like this, and then I'm just going to strike in a downward motion at a slight angle, and you're looking at a glancing blow. You don't want to just really hit the rock. You want a real good glancing blow. And what we're going to try to achieve is we're going to try to achieve flipping these sparks right up on top of that char cloth. And as you can see, we've got a nice ember. Now even though this char cloth, I used a dish rag and it's much thicker, you can see how quickly that's going to run out. So when I transfer this into my tinder bundle, you've got a pretty limited amount of time in order to blow that to flame. Now if that tinder bundle is damp, chances are you're not going to get that flame because you're very limited on how much material you have. So you start blowing, you run out, you just wasted your char cloth. So, like I said before, my personal favorite is charred punk wood. Now, I charred up a bunch of punk wood, and I'm going to put it in my tin. Now, let's say that this fire that we have right here in front of us, we let this sit and we let it go out until all we have left is coals. If we was to take a tinder bundle and throw on top of those hot coals, what would happen? Eventually you're going to get flame by not really doing anything. Nature is going to do it for you. This breeze coming through is going to hit that tinder and those coals, and it's going to burst that into flame without you ever really having to do anything. So by filling my tin with charred punk wood or another charred substance, when I strike down into this and I get an ember, basically I'm turning my tin into a miniature coal bed. So now even if I have a damp material, I can put it over the top of this, and as I gently blow or let Mother Nature do that for me, it will dry that dampness out and eventually catch flame, because this is going to hold an ember for a very long time. I bet you if I threw an ember in here, it would smolder for about 40 minutes. If I was to take that and gently close it, it would smolder for a good long while. Now if I have it completely open, obviously it's not going to smolder that long. Now in order to do it this way, with the char cloth, I was holding this in my left hand and striking in a downward fashion, okay? Now since I'm going to strike into this tin, I'm going to reverse grips. I'm now going to hold my steel in my left hand, and I'm going to actually strike my steel with my rock instead of striking the steel against my rock. Now most of you guys probably know by now that your flint, the sharper it is, the better you're going to throw sparks. So I've got my piece here, it's nice and sharp. Again, notice the direction that I'm holding this. If I was to hold it like this and come down, there's a chance that my stone could come in here and get jammed, so I'm going to make sure that I'm holding my steel like this. And again, in a downward glancing blow is what I'm looking for. I'm not looking to hit against, I'm looking to go just like this at a glancing blow. Now charred punk wood or tinders, it might be more difficult to achieve an ember, but it will hold the ember longer, and you can walk out into those woods right now and find it, and then you don't have to cut up and destroy your clothes. Okay. Oh, it just went out. Nope. Yep. Okay, now I've got an ember. It's a small ember, but the thing is as I blow, it's going to start catching the other charred material on fire. Now, is what I like to do is I like to actually hold my tinder right over the top of my tin. And I think Larry's going to grab me some tinder right now, which I've got all the time in the world. I can set this down because all that's going to do is spread while he grabs that. And actually, holding this up, it is a little damp because of all the weather that we've been having. Now, just like all your other tinder bundles, you're going to want to work and process this, really exposing those inner fibers. And I like to take mine and stick it right over the top. I'm not going to smolder it, I'm just going to put it over the top. And I'm going to start gently blowing. Obviously, if your material is not touching your embers, you're never going to get anything. So adjust. Now even though this is damp, just by taking my time, it's going to start drying it out. Maybe. And as you can see, that literally just creates a miniature coal bed. So now even though I can remove this tinder bundle, if you look down in here, you'll notice, like I said, that has become a miniature coal bed. And you can actually do this more if you need to. Now we can smother this out, and this is the beautiful thing about punkwood, is even though that's ignited now, by removing that oxygen or starving it, all those embers are going to go out. I can pull that lid back off once those have gone out, and I can do that all over again. The other good thing is let's say that right here I've got more punkwood. While those embers are still going, I can take fresh punkwood, put inside my tin. I don't necessarily have to char it on the fire. The ignited embers in there are going to slowly char that material for me. So just by putting fresh punkwood in there, I'm basically doing nothing more than getting ready for my next fire without doing any work in the fire itself. You just get it. See it? Blow on. Good job.
I didn't really do anything.
You did a lot,
You were
though.
controlling my hand. I wasn't controlling yours.
Yeah.
But look, it's not. I'm sipping to eat.
Huh?
It's not really starting to be a fire.
It's going to here in a second. Start blowing.
It's gonna blow my face off.
There you go. You got it. Good job. All right, Kaylee.
Good job. Flint and Steel, so easy a 7-year-old can do it. Well, she's not quite 7, almost.
I'm 7. Hey, is Brooke gonna do it?
Brooke, do you want to try? Okay.
Come on, Brooke, you can do it. I don't think. Look at the wool.
Okay, come right here. Crouch down right here. Are you right-handed or left-handed?
Right.
Okay, you're right-handed? Okay, so we're going to put this right here. Go ahead and pinch that just like that. Okay, see how I'm pinching this? Go ahead and pinch. Oh, you almost had it right then.
Brooke, take your time.
Okay, hold on. Let's slide this back just a little bit. Okay, let me guide your hand, okay? Ready? Oh, you almost had it right then. Oh, you got it. Okay, we're going to set that down. Okay, go ahead and start blowing a little bit. Gently. A little bit. Here. Let's watch your hair, okay?
That's what we were working on.
I know.
Okay, look, go long. There you
Oh,
go.
there you go.
A little bit more. Long breath. Long breath.
There you go.
Long breath. Long breath. Good job.
Dad, can I do it again?
Good job.
Dad, I want to do it